Welcome, it's Denome, and welcome to this crypto update. Today, I have a major news for you guys because Trump's WLFI project is about to launch very soon, and the speculation is that it will actually launch today on July 4th. So let's see how that goes. But the pre-market buying and selling is already online, and the price has pumped 3x from the pre-sale price already. So I'll talk about all of these things. We will talk about the big beautiful pill which was just passed and a lot of things. So let's get started. So first off, let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin, which has now basically broken out of the previous structure here. And in my previous crypto update, I told you guys that it's likely that Bitcoin will first go to like $105,000 or $103,000. Seems like it had the pump from the first level already, and now we have broken out of this structure, which I also anticipated in the previous crypto update. Now the obvious question is, will this hold? And personally, I think it will hold and we will go higher from here. Now anything can obviously happen. We can crash here completely, but most likely what I believe will happen is that the Bitcoin train will continue to go to the upside. And the big reason for that, in my opinion, is the big beautiful bill which was passed. So a couple of big things from this bill is that the debt ceiling has been raised by there's conflicting information. It's either raised by $4 trillion or $5 trillion. And now when we look at the poly market, 92% of the gamblers are saying that the national debt will surpass $38 trillion in 2025, which means inflation. It means that investors have to speculate with their capital if they want to basically combat the incoming inflation that is caused by the bill. Also, there were tax cuts inside this bill, which is obviously good, and it will also help people basically have excess income to invest into something that they want to. So that's why, or these are basically the reasons why I believe that we are still looking for more upside in the markets. Now, uh, what is a little bit funny, this is a little bit a side tangent, but Donald Trump promised that the manufacturing will go back to United States. But when we actually take a look at what's actually been going on, is that the amount of government workers has just gone up. And basically, the last month, there was a 73,000 employee increase in government payrolls, which is a massive increase from previous times. And this is basically explained by the amount of ICE officers for deportations and all these things. But what is interesting at the same time is that manufacturing payrolls fell by 7,000 people. So again, this means that the underlying economy in the United States currently is not looking absolutely great. So this may lead to a recession unless they back it up with money printing, which seems to be the case. So money printing means that inflation will run rampant, and that leads to speculation as well. But these two things, recession and inflation, are basically going hand in hand. And usually, whenever there's a road where the government has a choice to either choose inflation or a recession, typically they choose inflation rather than a recession. Now, going further, what I saw just recently, actually, the affiliate manager for Phemex.com contacted me and told me that you can now actually trade on chain stocks on their platform. So I actually looked into this, and there's a bunch of different stocks now that you can actually buy on Phemex.com. And then I looked into what is this thing actually here. So xstocks.com is the website which is issuing these different stocks. So you have McDonald's here, you have AZN, which is AstraZeneca, Apple, Merck, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, and a bunch of other ones. There's like 40 different stocks that you are able to trade with X stock products. And the interesting thing here is, for the longest time, we've been talking about getting the real world assets on chain. And now with xstocks, there's 24/7 availability. The tokens are freely transferable, no commissions, DeFi ready, accessible. So let's see how this will be adopted. This is a brand new thing. They basically launched this at the start of July. And I went over to their X feed as well, and the major partners here are actually Bybit and Kraken. So if you want to trade this, you can use Phemex.com for it, obviously, which is a sponsor of this channel. But you can use Bybit and Kraken, and they most likely have a little bit deeper liquidity. You can find those affiliate links in the description as well. But they have now been launched and they are online, so you can yield farm with them. You can do a bunch of other things or simply trade with them as well. And in the future, you will probably be able to use these stocks as collateral for different yield farming protocols on DeFi. So that will be the big use case for these stocks, tokenized stocks. Obviously, you can use them for loan applications and different things. And that is the major thing that will now drive capital into DeFi, which I will believe this narrative will continue to grow as time goes on. That's why I'm reporting it here in this video update as well. Now, going back to what is this company for xstocks.com, it's actually a company called Backed. So you can go to the website called backed.fi. This was founded in 2021. And honestly, I have never heard of this company. And then I looked into the team behind here, and I don't know any of these faces or names. But it seems like based on the names, they have a bunch of different people from different backgrounds. Like this one seems to be like maybe a Spanish origin name, and then I saw like East European names here as well. And I don't know, Goldman sounds like Goldman Sachs, so it could be, I don't know, a Jewish heritage. So an international group of people seems to be behind this project as well. And for the investor side, I didn't see any major uh, investors other than like crypto investor companies. So that is the company there. I don't know too much about it. I don't know if how much you can trust these X stocks, but they are using Chainlink for some of their price data at least, which I was speculating earlier this year, but I didn't see Chainlink pumping in price at least yet. So that may become a big narrative. Obviously, the narrative could fall apart, and these tokenized stocks may fall out of fashion as well. But I hope that they will become a actual thing. And then once these tokenized stocks were launched, Robinhood wanted to get in on the action, and they actually launched an OpenAI token. And now OpenAI has come out and basically said that we have no idea what are these OpenAI tokens launched by Robinhood. We are not involved in this and do not endorse it. Any transfer of OpenAI equity requires our approval, and we did not approve any transfers. So I don't know what Robinhood is doing. Probably something illegal, but at least these tokenized equities, tokenized stocks are now a talking point. And then going into individual companies, Michael Saylor, he finished the purchase that I mentioned in Monday's update. So they bought 5,000 Bitcoin worth a little over $500 million. And then I saw another company from Sweden. This is actually the first Swedish Bitcoin treasury company, and it is publicly traded. So they acquired 47 Bitcoin, which is obviously not large amounts, but it's a start of probably something bigger. So now they hold a total of 250 Bitcoin in their balance sheets. And then I do want to mention what is the upcoming hype for this crypto market that will probably drive the markets higher. And one thing is that in June, this news article came out on June 6th, so a month ago. Trump Media issued $12 billion worth of new shares. And the idea that for these shares is obviously to sell it and to raise capital so that they can actually go ahead and buy digital assets, mostly Bitcoin, which they already did before. So once Trump media closes this deal, I believe the United States government will start to acquire Bitcoin again, and that will be the major price driver for the remainder of 2025. That is what I believe will happen. We still haven't had any update after they mentioned that they will issue this $12 billion. So I don't know what's going on with this, but we know that they were able to close the previous deal with $2.44 billion, and they were able to establish their Bitcoin treasury strategy with that capital. So most likely they will continue to do that as well. So I just wanted to give like a reminder that this is going on the background going into the end of 2025. And another big thing, and this is the major thing that will happen basically within the next week or even today, and that is the World Liberty Financial, which is another Trump-backed DeFi project. And the idea for this whole project is to basically become the central bank for crypto. And what World Liberty Financial, the major thing that they've already published is the USD1 stablecoin. And when we take a look at the USD1 stablecoin, you can see here on April 30th, they issued $2,130,000,000 worth of this stablecoin on the market. And since then, the market cap has steadily increased by roughly 80 million tokens, which is not a huge adoption rate. We will see if this will have a spike to the upside in the near future, but at least what I believe Trump will want to do with this project, because both of his sons are involved here, is that he wants to basically monopolize the stablecoin market. And you could say this is the like a private version of a central bank digital currency, but it could become that. I don't know. It certainly seems like that is the plan, that after his presidency, he will basically have the ultimate power over the crypto market. And if he can regulate the market to basically uh, remove the competition and make World Liberty Financial the one true stablecoin for the US market, I believe that's what Donald Trump wants and his sons want. And that will be Donald Trump's big legacy if crypto will become adopted as basically as a competitor or a replacement for the Swift banking system. So this is just the start here for World Liberty Financial, and now they had the big uh, pre-sale for the World Liberty Financial tokens, basically, which lasted over 6 months, and they had 85,000 people, individual investors, large investors, participate in the pre-sale. And now we have the pre-market for these tokens, and the pre-market price currently, let me actually refresh this page. The pre-sale market price is currently about 13.5 cents per token, and that means the price has already appreciated roughly 3x from the second round of the pre-sale, and it is up about 10x from the first round of the pre-sale. So when this actually there's a full launch, what I believe will happen is many people will basically take profits, and because so many people already participated in the price, it could be that the price actually tanks after the launch. We will see what happens, but the initial market cap of this token, you can see here on XT, basically the same price. The most recent price is 15 cents. When we take a look at the WLFI, there's now speculation that they will actually launch on July 4th. I don't know if they will launch, but that is the speculation. But most likely, since we already have the pre-market for WLFI tokens, most likely it will launch at least this month. And initially, 20% or 30% of the supply will be basically tradable. So that means that the pre-sale price, the pre-sale let's call it listing price is $1 billion or $5 billion when you consider the fully diluted market cap. I believe it can go much higher than that, but there's also a chance that the price actually dives downwards. But what is backing the price, the listing price, is this $2.2 billion of this stablecoin, at least. So we will see how things go from here. But if I can get $0.2 for my pre-sale, I'm already pretty happy with that sale. If I can get $0.1, then I've already doubled my capital that I basically put in on the second round of the pre-sale. So let's see how that goes. But overall, I'm hopeful that this will go well. But on the flip side, this could actually be a local top for crypto markets when it launches as well. So there's a couple of ways that this launch can go. First way is that this is a local top. So many people have participated here that there's no more buyers for the tokens when it actually launches. And when that happens, the price obviously has to tank. And if this launch is not successful, then I don't believe the retail investors are coming to the party at all. The second way this goes is that the launch is very successful. Trump starts to promote WLFI and crypto markets, and for the remainder of 2025, he really keys in on the growth of the United States, the growth of crypto. He makes the United States government buy Bitcoin, and that basically lures the markets in, and that's basically how we get the bull market for the remainder of 2025, and then the retail investors basically come in, and that will be the exit liquidity for Trump and his fellow buddies and us earlier investors to basically dump on. So that seems to be more likely than a local top here. But in the short term, we could have a local top, the market dips, and then the hype for the remainder of 2025 peaks in as well. So there's a couple of ways how things go. Let me know in the comments what's your way of thinking. How will this launch actually affect the crypto market, and how the prices will go from there. But once this launches, there's no shame in actually taking some profits off or some capital out of the market for like a week or so, and then putting it back in after you see how the markets actually react to this news, and how the prices of other crypto assets start to move. Because if this is successful and suddenly people have a lot of capital to invest, like when I take off my profits, I could probably invest it into another coin, and that's basically a way for us to get the second, or let's call it the final phases of this bull run. But we'll see how that goes out. Now, going further, we have seen more ETF buying. So yesterday we saw $601 million enter into the Bitcoin ETFs, and also when we take a look at the Ethereum ETFs, we saw $150 million of inflows on Ethereum ETFs as well. So there's a lot of inflows into both ETFs, Bitcoin and Ethereum, for these last 2 months, which is obviously nice to see. We're not seeing any exhaustion here. The ETF investors are still ecstatic. So I hope that continues to be the case in the future as well. Now, going into santiment.net, there's a couple of interesting points here that I want to mention. First one is looking at the stablecoin market cap that has already increased by roughly $2 billion this week. So the speed is continuing to be the same. It has been since basically February of this year, about $2 billion per week. That is a very, very nice speed. I hope it continues to be the case, because this is the indicator for the bull market continuation. Then, unfortunately, I have to report that we basically today or yesterday we saw a major, large amounts of selling from old wallets. So if we saw a spike here in the blue line, and that was wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 3 years, and they sold 20,000 Bitcoin or moved 20,000 Bitcoin within the last 24 hours. And this is not what we want to see. We want to see old investors hold on to their capital. So that's probably the reason why we did not see a continuation of this breakout from the previous structure here because of this old money basically selling. So we will see. There is still potential that this is a fake out of the upside and we go down here, but currently I'm leaning towards more upside, at least until the WLFI launch. Uh, but that's basically the big change there. We're still seeing some profit taking, obviously. And what is interesting is this 1,000 to 10,000 Bitcoin holding wallets, because they have basically been dumping here to this pump, while 100 to 1000 Bitcoin holding wallets have actually been accumulating Bitcoin. And this is pretty much the proxy for the ETF holders, and that has been growing. So the ETFs have been on the buy side, but if ETFs actually start selling, that will actually roll the prices over, because basically every other wallet sizes have been on the sell side, unfortunately. On the flip side, we have seen 1 to 100 Bitcoin holding wallets also start to acquire a little bit Bitcoin, so that at least have been good for the Bitcoin price potential. Now, looking for the short-term fundamentals and looking at the liquidation heat map, we still have this liquidity pocket here going stretching all the way up to $114,000, which I have mentioned before. So in my opinion, this is where Bitcoin really wants to go in the short term. In the if we change this time frame from 3 months to like 1 month, we start to see a little bit more liquidations piling up below here again to that 103,000 price range as well. You can see numbers like $700 million, 700 million, 600 million. So these are large amounts as well, but the immediate liquidity is obviously above here. We're looking at 1 billion, 1.1 billion, 1.2 billion. So this is most likely where Bitcoin price would like to go in the immediate term, in my opinion. We could still go down here, like I'm saying, but just most likely Bitcoin really wants to go to the upside. On the flip side, when we look at the Bitcoin spot markets, Bitcoin futures markets, the order books, we're seeing quite a lot of delta more on the sell side. So there's investors very happy to sell into this pump as well. So it's a little bit difficult. I'm getting mixed signals basically for an immediate pump. We'll see how that goes. Uh, uh, I'm leaning towards more pump, but as you can see, there's mixed signals basically both ways at the same time. So it's difficult to give like a certainty that Bitcoin will for sure pump from here. I'm just leaning towards a pump instead of a dump. The futures side is starting to buy already from this small dip here, which is a little bit nice to see. But on the other hand, it's the spot markets eventually that move the markets. So that is still on the sell side. But the good news here is at least the sell pressure from the spot markets is becoming smaller and smaller. So that is obviously nice. Now, going back to the charts here, there's not a lot of I'm not seeing like bullish divergences. If I go to the 1 hour chart, I guess you could say that we're seeing the uh, uh, like a squeeze here to the downside. So this could mean that at least in the 1 hour time frame, this could actually be the local bottom already. But on the other hand, when I look at it from like a momentum, from the momentum perspective, we had this trend line, and that got broken to the downside, unfortunately. I was hoping that the move would actually continue to the upside, which it did not. And then we had this second trend line here, and even that broke to the downside as well. So now it seems like Bitcoin really, it's basically trying to decide if it wants to hold this price level or if it wants to dump here. So right now, in my opinion, is a good time to buy Bitcoin and then have your stop losses below $108,000 right about here. Because if Bitcoin goes to $108,000, then I believe it will dump even further to the downside. So most likely from like risk reward ratio if you're expecting Bitcoin to go to at least $111,000, even to $113,000 in the short term, and this is your stop loss. I think that's a pretty good trade in the short term. So that's basically what I'm doing in the short term here. Expecting more upside here, but a move to the downside is possible as well. When WLFI launches, I believe the markets will pump in the short term from all of the liquidity that gets released, but we'll see how that goes. Really, I'm sorry to give like cases for both sides. It's just I don't have a clear picture how markets will react when WLFI actually launches. I will basically have to wait out and see. I'm just leaning towards more upside in the short term. So that's basically my update today. Now, if you want to start trading on Phemex.com or other exchanges, make sure to use the links in the description. Phemex is a sponsor of this channel, so if you create an account here, that will help support the channel the most. You don't have to do it, obviously, you can use other exchanges as well, just throwing this out there. Thanks for watching this video, I will see you on the next one, and bye bye.